Tell us some examples of some great integrated marketing communication that you have seen apply these principles. Because if I were a CMO, it appeals to me.
Yeah.
So how do I look at an integrated marketing campaign?
Yeah.
You saw that as probably the best in class practice.
Yeah, best in class practice. So you're surely aware of MasterCard, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So MasterCard has very high 99% awareness. So MasterCard in India, I think Ajay Banga was the CEO then, came up. They already had this beautiful campaigns running since 1997 onwards. Yeah. It is called
Priceless.
Yeah, that priceless. What was the line? The line was like, you can buy this for so much dollars, you can buy that for so much dollars, etc., etc.
Life is priceless.
Yeah,
kind of
and then for everything else, there is MasterCard.
Correct.
Okay, and so it was a beautiful campaign, but it was a single medium campaign called television or whatever. It can be run in print and also. So it was. There is nothing. It was generalizable to multiple media, but it was not. Interplay of media was not built in, and it was only for one segment called consumers. Okay. The campaign that I'm going to talk about is the next generation, which they call it priceless possibilities. Superb campaign, best in class. What they did was, they realized that MasterCard business doesn't have one thing called consumers, like Procter & Gamble. It is a platform. MasterCard has two other players. The banks, which allows you to issuing bank and the acquiring bank, two types of banks, but banks. And then you have a third group called merchants. Merchants should accept the card. And so it is a platform. Consumers, banks, and merchants. More merchants carry, more consumers use, even more merchants carry. And so it's like a virtuous circle that business grows. They started way back in 1960s. This is 2020s, 2019, 17, something around that. So it's a very recent campaign. And what they did was, they wanted to connect all three players. So not just all three media, or whatever, 5, 7 media, but also three. So they came up with priceless possibilities, and then they split that into 4 or 5 different kinds. Priceless cities, priceless surprises, priceless causes, priceless something. So a good example would be priceless causes. They say you spend some money, 1 cent on $10, I will give it to the charity of your kind. Okay. And so consumers would feel good, and they ran this in Germany, and the appeal was that we will take that 1 cent collection of whatever you give, so you don't have to pay anything more, the merchant doesn't have to pay anything more, they will just take 1 cent off from their own bank's profit, and they will feed Ethiopian kids, and this was a campaign run in Germany. Okay. Now, because they said they would do this, and of course you trust MasterCard once you say it will be there in the balance sheets, all the accounting of that. So it's a public limited company. German consumers started spending more.
Okay.
Because now they feel, oh yeah, through this, we can now do something which, so this is called priceless causes. And actual sales would go up for merchants, for banks, because the transactions would increase, and consumers themselves would spend more. And so they connected the interplay between the three different players in the platform, unlike the previous priceless campaign, which was only targeted to consumers.
Okay.
And now when they did this, they used social media to promote this cause. They did digital advertising, banners, and so they did social media feed on Twitter and Facebook and all. They did all the digital advertising banners online to generate the awareness. So that is one way they did that. They also did priceless surprises, priceless cities, where they can curate a certain experience. So you take the elite spenders of car, and they can create a tour. And they say, well, you can go to Singapore for New Year's, and if you do go Singapore through New Year's under this scheme, then you will get to see XYZ. there will be a special bar, you will get to go into this museum, the museum will be after hours, somebody will give you a tour, you can buy certain things, and they would connect MasterCard, all the merchants to serve this, saying that this is a special group of people who will come only for and stay in this special hotel, and so all the merchants will get connected and they would contribute to this campaign. MasterCard would contribute, banks would contribute, and so they will have the funding. And so that is a fantastic multimedia interplay between players and across media that they ran.
Okay.
Okay, so if you want a classic example, there is none more classic than this.
Fantastic.